Everyone keeps asking the same question. How much money do you really need to retire in Thailand? And here's the problem. Most people either hear influencer numbers that aren't realistic or backpacker budgets that don't apply to real life. Today, we are breaking down real retirement numbers for people who want comfort, healthcare, and peace, not stress or survival. Because retiring abroad isn't about being cheap. It's about not getting this wrong. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly which lifestyle fits you and what that means for your money. Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. This is Doc and Bean, and guess what, guys? We retired early, left the U.S. So in this video, we're answering one of the most important questions that you can ask yourself when you're getting ready to move. Which is how much money you actually need to retire here in Thailand in 2026. Right? So we're going to break it down by lifestyle, not fantasy. And by the end, you will know exactly where you fit and if this can work for you. So let's get into it, right?
Yeah, for most Americans, retirement income is a lot lower than they expect, and a lot of times they have just one income source after they stop working.
Right, which is usually like Social Security, right, which is about $1,900 a month, and many retirees rely on it for half or most of their income, right? And about 1 in 4 retirees live almost entirely on their Social Security, and in the U.S., that amount barely covers basic expenses. Let's be real. But in Thailand, it can cover a meaningful portion of your daily living.
Or everything.
Yeah,
Or
depending on how you live, yeah.
Right.
So about 30% of Americans have a traditional pension, right? And when they do, it often falls between, $1,000 and $3,000 a month. So when you combine Social Security, pension, savings, or even light online income, Thailand becomes financially realistic much earlier than the U.S. And here's why that matters, right? In the U.S., healthcare costs, rise in income,
drops.
Yes.
Either it stays the same or it drops. Right? But it doesn't meet the cost of living most of the time.
Yeah, and it forces people to work longer. That's just the reality. And in Thailand, though, healthcare stays affordable. Like for a stable income, so which is allowing people to step away way sooner, So you're not retiring into fear, because a lot of us have that. Well, that's their fear is stopping them from retiring, So you're retiring into sustainability, right? So we got to clear something up, though. There is no single number. It is.
Yeah, everybody says that.
Yeah.
Everybody gives the videos, right, where you can live on 1,000, 1,500, 2,000, 3,000, 5,000. All of those are true and false at the same time.
Yeah, and we've seen
all of those are true and false.
Yeah. So retiring in Thailand depends on where you live, right? How you live, and what stage of your life you're in, I would say. That's a big one.
That determines how much money you want to spend.
Right. So early retirement and traditional retirement can look different here, So we're going to walk through 3 realistic lifestyles that all work in Thailand. Yeah.
So number one is the minimalist retiree lifestyle. How much does that cost?
Okay, so this is not struggling, let's be clear, right? But you're just living minimal, right?
Or you need minimal. You're not doing it on purpose, trying to skimp, but you just need minimal, and it's okay for you.
Yeah, and that's between $1,300 and $1,700 a month. Now, if I wasn't here for real, like we've watched all the videos, of cost of living, and people say it, but if we weren't here, we was on the fence about this, but we are absolutely sure about this now that you can live here in Thailand on $1,300 to $1,700 a month, like living a minimal lifestyle.
Right.
And that is going to include a clean, modern apartment outside of the luxury zones, right? Eating mostly local food with some Western meals here and there.
Right.
Because Western meals can add up very quick, so you have to be mindful of that, right? Taking public transportation with the occasional grab here and there, and basic private health care, internet, phone, and utilities, right? But this lifestyle would work for solo retirees, early retirees, and people who want peace over flash and don't need too much. You know, this is where early retirees should start, right? So, yeah. Are you planning to move abroad, but you're confused by visas, costs, and where to start? We were too, so we organized everything clearly. DocandBean.com has relocation guides, visa clarity, and real-life planning, all in one place. If you're planning a move abroad, start at DocandBean.com.
So now, number two. Number two. What does a comfortable everyday lifestyle, and we just dismissed this question, what does it cost to live comfortably?
Yeah.
How would you know for each person?
Right. But here is where most people are going to actually land, right? Where your monthly range is going to be between $1,800 and $2,500 a month. And this includes a modern condo with amenities like the gym and a pool, a mix of local and Western food, right? Taking grabs on a regular, you know, because, you know, as Americans, you come over here, you got to get used to all this walking. You will hop on a grab real quick, right? And public transportation, you know, but you have strong private healthcare coverage, right? Entertainment, massages, even short trips to other neighboring countries, which is great.
Like Cambodia, Vietnam.
Yes. And this is the sweet spot for most people and most retirees in Thailand. You're not watching every dollar with this budget. You might think you are, but you're not. You're mostly doing what you want to do. You know, you're living.
Okay, number three. Number three, what is a really comfortable luxury lifestyle? How much does that cost?
And you know, so that is about $3,000 to $4,000. And you see who lives this way a lot.
And that's comfort to luxury.
Yes.
Now, Thailand is like New York City.
You can get anything you want.
You can spend $10,000 a month here if you want to.
If you want to.
You can do that.
Yeah.
But comfortable to luxury.
Yes. And you see older retirees doing this where they're like, you know what? No, I'm living the life. I don't care about spending $2,000 on an apartment. I could do that. So I'm doing it, you know, kudos to them. What this includes is prime locations and large condos, right? Dining out often. You don't want to cook, you don't have to at all. Traveling around Thailand and Southeast Asia.
Along with other places.
Very comfortably. And top tier healthcare, top tier health insurance. You have comfort, you have convenience, you have flexibility. And this is where many people with pensions or multiple income streams land as well. You know, and healthcare is critical. Right?
That's one of the most important parts. If you're a little older or if you're retiring or early retiring, everybody has a question about healthcare.
Right.
And in Thailand answers the question really well.
Yes, because it consistently ranks as a top medical tourism destination in the world. And that's not just because we like it, that's facts, right? They treat millions of international patients every year. Many doctors are trained in the US and in the UK and speak fluent English. So just a little cost comparison, right? because this is what kind of really matters for retirees and early retirees too, right? A standard doctor visit in a private Thai hospital ranges between $30 to $70, right? Specialist visits are often $50 to $120 depending on the hospital, right? Routine lab work and imaging costs is a fraction of U.S. prices. Many procedures cost 50 to 80% less than in the United States. And because of this, many people retire in Thailand, and just self-pay. That could depend on the visa you have too, that might require healthcare. But if you don't want to have healthcare, it's doable here. You can just pay as you go,
right.
And use private insurance mainly for major events or hospitalization. A realistic healthcare plan range for retirees in Thailand is about $100 to $300 a month, depending on your age, health, and insurance choice, right? Which will include routine visits, medication, preventative care, and insurance premium if used, So this is one of the biggest reasons people can retire early and comfortably here. So, and healthcare just stops being a thing that forces you to keep working.
Right.
Yeah.
Healthcare is a big thing, but so are visas.
Yeah.
So let's talk about visas and how can I actually stay long term.
Yeah. Visa costs depend on the path you choose, right? Annual planning range is about $500 to $2,000 per year. This includes like visa fees, agents if used, required documentation, and this is not like a monthly shock. You just have to plan it into your cost of living, but it might include, the border runs, or if you have to, just because a lot of time it's part of your visa that you have to leave every 90, 60, 120 days.
180 days, whatever it is.
Yeah.
You're probably going to do some border runs.
Right.
Yeah.
And like how much savings do you need total? Because that's a big thing as well. And this is where people panic.
Yeah.
Right? Like anytime
because you don't know.
Yeah. Anytime you talk about money, his shoulders go up. So an example, let's say you live on $2,000 a month, right? That's only $24,000 a year, right? And in America, they say that you should have 25 times that.
To do what?
I don't know. Like, why do you need that much? So that brings your savings. You should have in savings $600,000.
$600,000.
Who has that? Like, who really has that? You might have it,
You might have it in assets.
Yeah, and in your 401k.
Yeah, you might have it in assets, but liquid?
No. Yeah. So many retirees also have Social Security, pensions, rental income, and investments, which means you don't always need that big giant number just sitting in cash. So this is where you can adjust to what yours personally look like, and that's what retiring in Thailand taught us, that you don't need millions to retire.
Right.
You don't need what the financial advisors tell you do, because you have lower fixed costs, better healthcare access, and a lifestyle that supports longevity. And just that combo makes it really, really easy to retire.
You are the judge of how you live and how much money you spend a month, what you like to do, what you don't like to do. That is your budget.
Yeah.
That is your personal budget.
Right. So you just have to actually sit down, crunch some numbers. But, and you call a financial advisor, and I wonder if we told them, like, the scenario now, what most of them would say, like, oh, well, you had to leave the country. But you have to do what's best for you, and just moving to another country will make that possible. We can't emphasize that enough. We're living proof. It is, the journey is definitely being fulfilled. Like, we're truly happy with the decisions we make in this short time we've been here.
Yeah.
We're like, okay, this was definitely the right move. Yeah, but if this breakdown helped you, hit the like button, share it with someone that it can help. You know, and if you're thinking about living in Thailand, check the link in the pinned comment and in the description, and this will help you decide if Thailand is right for you. So, you know, and comment below and tell us, would you see yourself living here? What tier is your lifestyle? Let us know. You know, but yeah. All right, guys, that's it.
Peace.
Peace.